Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Sagar Kakkala, and here we are for a DevOps session, like which we had already done in Telugu, and we are actually doing it but back in English because of some requests that I had. And apart from that, DevOps session, like I actually make my content in travel, finance, podcasts, and like lot other stuff. So that is, but everything here is in a single channel. So that is where I just want to show like how the content is separated here. You just have to like remember my name. You just have to like go for Google and just type my name, Sagar Kakkala. And here is where you'll have my blog, LinkedIn, and I don't know why YouTube isn't coming up. And in YouTube, everything here is separated by playlists. And the main playlist, I just kept it in the home tab itself, like where you could see DevOps with Sagar Kakkala, Telugu, English, and finance, other things. And same thing here for the blog. Everything is separated by contents of blog. It has DevOps and finance both. Yes. So this is about like how you had to separate content in this channel, and now we'll dive into the session. Let's say, yes. Hope this is the last session we had, like which in the YouTube I would recommend like till watch till day 5 because everything here is interlinked, and now we actually got Jenkins into picture. Today we'll be bringing Jenkins into picture. Okay, Jenkins is not there. Maybe you could think like some train. Let's say, let's imagine this is Jenkins. So what we are going to do here is like in the day 5, what we did, we asked Ansible to run a build.yaml file in build server and deploy.yaml in deploy server. What this like playbook does is and like what this build.yaml contains, like which actually contains build.sh script to run in build server and deploy.sh YAML contains deploy.sh script like to bring place it on server and then run and what each script does like that we explained in bash script session. So that's where I was telling everything is interlinked. And from here, Jenkins, what we'll do, like since like in last session in Ansible, we had already told Ansible, like go for like build.yaml, like go for build server and run build.yaml, and the same Ansible, which is installed in build server, we are going to use this Ansible to go and trigger a deploy.yaml file, which is in deploy server, and based on that, our application would be up. So it's a manual effort that we put. Now what we are going to do, we're bringing Jenkins here, a separate server. We are not going to touch any of the servers. Like let's say, like for even for Ansible, what we did for Bash, we went inside build server and had run build.sh script. And even for one second, yes. Even for like let's say for deploy server for bash like we said like we went inside server and we had run deploy.sh script, whereas in Ansible we reduced it to single server. Like we did not go like we established connections, but we made things easier. Like without logging into this server we made tasks run like just by logging into this server. Now using Jenkins, like where you don't even had to log into the servers, like once you configure, all we do is just change the code and like immediately that would reflect. I mean the everything in the pipeline, it happens everything in the pipeline and your application would be up. So it's just a simple thing, automation, where you're telling Jenkins is more like a plugin architecture. You'll have like number of plugins, be it credentials or like backup of files. You would tell like what steps to do in which server. So that's where like we'll focus on the Jenkins now today. And yes, like Jenkins works more in the pipeline stages. Like here, I had kept only two stages. First stage is to run build.yaml in build server, and second stage is run deploy.yaml in deploy server. Maybe I could show the script like this is the Jenkins file that I used inside code. It's the same code that we used in day 1, except that I added Jenkins file. That's it. Because till day 4, we had already set up Ansible. We already had playbook inside. We just had to trigger that playbook. Same thing which Ansible did. So that is where like I had used this two stages. Maybe like once pipeline is run, I would show you. So it's more like there are only two stages here. You could think like it's a build stage and a deploy stage. Build stage must run on build server and deploy stage must run on deploy server. And since Ansible is in build server, I had given build server IP. This is actually a pipeline file that I took from the old code. Maybe like there are some changes that I should do in the IP and even the path of Ansible playbook where it is, like which we will do in this session itself. Uh, so till here, the overview of architecture is clear, right? Like what we are going to today.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Sagar, actually, can you please repeat it? Actually, I got some disturbance, sound disturbance from side. Can you please repeat it in a minute? Just a minute.
In a
Like what
minute,
we have done and what.
what
Uh,
we had done, sorry, like it will take much time. Maybe I would advise you to watch the sessions
Fine.
again.
Watch. Sure. Okay.
Yes. Rest. I think you're the first one joining now, right? Like it's the
Correct.
first
Correct.
session.
Yes. Yes.
So I can't take because like if I say everything, it would be like you can't connect the dots. So
Okay.
so I'm
Fine.
sorry
No
about
problem.
it.
I will see the recordings. Fine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And here, like this is where I took like since we already had a build server and deploy server. We just had, I just turned on Jenkins server. It's nothing. I did not even install Jenkins server. Now I would just start it. It's just that I had made a server up. Let's see. Like this is the blog I'm going to use, like which you could find here, which I'll change it later to like day 6 to make things easier. First thing is like inside the server, we'll be installing Jenkins. I think here is somewhere I would get a problem. I'm not sure because once I'll install it from official documentation itself. If I get an issue, you'll have the official documentation here, same code and everything. The same things I had put there. Okay. And Jenkins is actually built on Java application, so you need Java there. Okay, I think yes, server is up now. Just directly installing Java. Maybe there is something a format issue that I faced last time. I guess there's no. I guess I fixed the format issue. Okay. I don't know whether I. Okay, and this is the command to check Java version. Maybe it'll run one command after other. Yes. So Java is installed. Open JDK 17. It's done. And now we'll install Jenkins. Okay, is it done? Let's check. Okay, Jenkins is installed. It's just like I think I explained this or command or not, I forgot. But enable is more like, let's say if you have a Jenkins or Nginx server running, when you stop and start the server, it will not actually run unless it is enabled. It's more like even if the system is off and if the system is on, like you had to like run this service. That's what like enable will do. Even Docker is by default is not enabled. Like if you stop the instance and you start back instance, you had to restart Docker service to keep your Docker running. And there are some such services like that. So this is where this command is helpful. It's more like enable where we are going to like service and start Jenkins. I don't think like we need Jenkins documentation anymore. Okay. Okay, our Jenkins is actively running, but if it is running, we need to access it. Like to access the Jenkins server, like Jenkins default by runs on port 8080. And as we know, like AWS has the security inbound rules. Unless it allows the traffic inside, we can't access it. Let's say maybe this is the IP that we have. And like if we want to access Jenkins, so colon 8080 would be the would be our Jenkins server. It should be HTTP. But here, even though Jenkins is running in our server, it's not visible. Maybe it will not come as well now. Yeah, it will not access because the security groups that we had to allow port 8080 for our EC2 instance so that like everyone outside could access. Now let's say edit inbound rules, add rule. Why is this not working? Okay. Yeah, I'm allowing it from every source. I don't know whether Mac. Come on, come on. Yes, now we got it. Like now, Jenkins is allowed because security group we allowed 8080 port. And from here, this is where you will get the first password to access Jenkins. You could actually like same thing. I'm actually like using this command to get that same thing which is asked in UI. It says Control C. Okay. So this is the initial password. Let's go. You could say install suggested by plugins. As I said, Jenkins is a plugin architecture. Everything it connects dots to plugins itself. And there are like a lot of plugins as well, like where if you want to install softwares, you could just search for a plugin. Like let's say you want to install Maven or install SonarQube via Jenkins, you'll have the plugins ready. And yes, yeah, we'll create an admin password. We'll have the Jenkins. Jenkins URL is our AWS EC2 public IP colon 8080. The same thing which is on the top. And as I said at the initial, like every time we are going to stop and start the instance, the AWS EC2 public IP changes. So that means our Jenkins URL changes every time as well. So that actually I want you guys to remember throughout the project, because if I don't want the IP to change, I had to take Elastic IP, which will actually add additional cost to me, and I don't want to add additional costs. Okay, let's wait. Okay, we got ours. Hmm, what should I keep? Maybe I'll skip it. I'll skip and continue as admin as of now. And this is the public IP. Yes. So admin is this, like whenever I want to log in now, so it will be like admin, and then like because I did not create a password, it will be this would be my password every time. But I would recommend creating it. 1 second, let me save this. I'll change it later, or maybe. Hmm, yes, now let's go. Now from the next time we would log in using this. Yes, the Jenkins is ready, but like as per our project, like we had to tell Jenkins to go, I mean, like trigger Ansible playbook, like trigger Ansible inside the build server, like which from where Ansible takes the place, like from where Ansible takes to run the build.yaml in build server and to run deploy.yaml in build server. And this Ansible is running in build server. And for Jenkins to have connection between Jenkins and build, like we would be using SSH connection, like we would be establishing SSH connection for that. So simply like since Jenkins works on Jenkins user, let's go for. So we are under Jenkins user. This user is created when you install Jenkins. So it's default by Jenkins itself. And here is where SSH keygen. And this SSH key, I think we had discussed in Ansible and Ansible session. Okay, this is the path. Yes, now let's go back to our instances. I think I had to turn on build server. So I will be placing it in the Ubuntu path because Ubuntu is where like we are running code. Like Ubuntu is where like that has access to run our playbooks. Like Ubuntu user. Let's go. Mm, mm, mm. I'm just coming out and going into user just for things to apply. Same thing here. I'm just like logging out from user. I think this is it. Like Just checking from here, Ubuntu at the rate. Okay, it actually logged into build server. So yes, our SSH connection is established actually. Now we'll be configuring pipeline. Okay, this is what I did. This is the script I showed you in the initial. And now from here it's like you had to just click on new item. I think it's pipeline. Let me reconfirm. Yeah, pipeline project. You had to click on like GitHub trigger. Okay, yes, let's go for this. GitHub trigger. Okay, pipeline script. Mm, This is the one pipeline script and okay. I'll go for pipeline. It's like source code management. Since our Jenkins file is already in Git, we are going to go for that. Git and script path. Here repository URL is this is our repository URL. Credentials are none because it is a public repository that I kept. If it's public, you don't have to do. Else, you had to give tokens and usernames, or you had to go for Git Jenkins configurations, add credentials there, and you could select credentials from here as well. And you have to check whether the specified branch is master or main. Like some has master and some has main. So for us, it's main. So let's change it. And script path is actually not this. Some projects actually have directly Jenkins file there. Let's say maybe in the old project, this is how I kept in the old repo. So it is directly under main Jenkins file. But in the new repo, it's not directly under main Jenkins repo. It is under main, code, and Jenkins file. So it's just a path that I need to update. And because I want Ansible and Bash, like whoever is referring for the first time, I don't want them to go and refer there. I want everything to be at same place. So that is where I used this. So let's go for it's just code and slash. I think it's apply and save. Okay, click on apply and save. Yeah, we can't go for build now directly because there are some changes we need to do. First thing is build server IP. Build server private IP is this. Let me change this. Another thing I had to check because of the new server in the build server, I had to check like where the build.yaml file is there and deploy.yaml files are there. So I'll go turn on deploy server as well. This is the build server. So let's check. Yes. Yes, this is the path. Now where I had to tell to run. And let me check deploy server as well. Okay, it does not need it. It actually runs from build server. Sorry, my bad. My bad. So both the playbooks are in build server itself. Mm, File could not be edited. Okay, so I'll just now I could run the pipeline. I think there is something that will fail now. Ah, okay, one more thing I forgot here. I had to take deploy server IP. Just for our website to have this. Will expire in 35 days. Okay. Okay, let's check. I think I gave the wrong code there to pick. Let's see what it picks up. It'll take some time. Now it's more like we actually had to like run build now automatically. So where the script has run, it's fine. Now we don't want like every time we want the builds to run, like go and run manually. What we want, like being a DevOps engineer, we want to make the developer's life easier. So whenever, let's say, a developer make changes in the code, whenever a developer make changes in the code, he must not worry on like let's say like this overall process, and we as a DevOps engineers, we must not always be there to side loaded with Ansible day. Yes, I got it. Like what's the issue there? So don't worry on that. I know what the issue happened there because like bash scripts were taken from another one from the day 5. I'll make changes, so don't worry. And here mm, we want to actually like trigger automatically these builds. So for that we will be using a concept webhook. A webhook is just like if there is an action, show a reaction in very simple terms. Let's say. mm, So what we are going to do, we are going to go for our GitHub, like where our URL is there. Let's say this is our URL. Settings, the repo like which has Jenkins file. That's where you need to change, make the changes. Webhooks, add webhook, and yes, and the URL is your Jenkins URL. Where is this? Mm. And I think there would be no slash. Okay, okay, slash GitHub slash webhook. It's application slash JSON. Just the push event. Okay, and one more thing I want to add, like these things, like let's say if developer makes a code and it has to go for application and the automations, this would be done only for the lower environments, let's say for dev or UAT. But for production, no, it must go through a DevOps engineer itself. So for the production, the main thing, and it's if let's say it's just a testing website, and to make the changes for them, it should not be every time calling a DevOps engineer. So that is where we would automate this only under a lower environment, but never for a production environment. Even the webhook triggers, it even if it is manual, it must be done through a DevOps engineer itself, just to avoid production issues. Yes. So I added a webhook. So whenever the changes are done, so it will do this. And here I think the code for me it will take time to load. 1 second. Yes, I understood the issue. I don't want through Ansible code because let's say, yes, here is where I had to make changes. Like instead of day 5, I had to tell it to go to day 6. Maybe yes, it'll go for day 5 bash. Okay. Yes, let me make some changes here. Uh, okay. And I'm just gonna refresh this. Okay, the webhook is up. So whenever the changes are made inside this code, the build will trigger automatically. Here we had to make the changes itself now because let's say build.sh. So instead of day 5, I'm asking this script to go for day 6. Day 6 code. Yes, this is where it is. So whenever I make the changes now, let's see if pipeline is triggered automatically or not. As you could see, it actually triggered pipeline automatically. It's just that we did not log in into servers. It's now from here. Mhm. Is anyone able to access website? Because I don't know why I'm not able to access.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. It's because of Mac security issue that I'm not able to access website well. Yeah, okay. This is the previous one because it actually took the day 5 code. That is why it actually was showing Ansible. Now we changed it to see day 6 code. Let's see. Where is the Jenkins? Okay, it failed at some part. Okay, it was successful here, here. Skipper due to earlier error failure. Okay, okay, okay. It says nothing called as day 6 bash. Okay, the typo errors. Yes, let's actually go for this. One second, let me check where it to go. Ch on build.sh. Okay, I got it. It's again a typo issue. Now, since there is no code change, I'll just trigger it manually. Let's see. Why it changed? There is no day 6 here. Okay, got it. It's better. I'm actually understanding error, but due to time, actually I had to make a change where I had to go clone this before itself. Maybe 1 second. I would ask Ansible to do it later. As of now, I'm just copying manually because it's not finding the file there of day 6. Now it could actually go for cd day 6 cd bash and build.sh. Okay. You guys are understanding the errors, right? Why, what's happening? Because I had set up from day 6 to day 5, so that's where like a lot of typos and confusions were happening. Mm, yeah, I think it's actually finding. Okay. Hope I did not confuse much. I should have asked Jenkins. Okay, the build is successful. Mm, yes, now let's see. Where is our cognito? Yes, now it's. I think the only change that I need to do is, let's say, where is this? No, not this. Yeah, because I was taking reference from code 6, so that is where the issues were happening. I could just change only one thing here. Mm, 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 mm. Instead of day 5, I could just ask day 6. Maybe one thing I did manually was like to clone the repo inside build server, like for day 6, which I think you guys ha also had to do, which maybe you could even skip adding one stage, like cloning this repo inside build server. Yes, I think now it will trigger, but I did not make any code change. Even if it triggers, there will be no change to show in the website. Because of Webhook, it got triggered. I think yes, that's all for the session today. Do anyone have any queries, or is it something like I did confuse? I'm unable to.
Clear, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Is everyone
Bro,
like? Yeah, I just saw
yeah, yeah.
one message. Like, is also no one able to listen?
No, no, no.
No, no, you are audible.
Okay, okay.
You're audible.
Yes, okay. That's it for the session. Like maybe I'll stop the recording. If you guys wait back, I'll just take the screenshot and we could end it.
Bro, we have doubts,
Ah, okay. Fine.
not in this session. Like, I said, I posted it right, like regarding the git push and for the tokens one.
Hmm.
I just added, but every time when I'm pushing it, it's asking again and again username and token.
Actually, you should actually git re-login. Let's say you're actually logged in with one credentials. It'll check for that credentials itself. You need to rechange it. Maybe I could give you one example with username and token here in the chat itself. You could use that every time if you don't want to like git log out and log in. It's more like this, where in place of git token, you had to keep your token there and your username in
Okay,
place of Sagar
you
Kakkala.
want me to every time when I'm pushing it, like username and a token need for the everything.
Token and URL, like if you don't prefer that, it's most like you had to git log out from your terminal and then git login with token. That's it.
Okay. So first time I need to log in and
Hmm.
after
No, no, no.
completing the work,
It's more like if you don't want to log out of existing user, you are already
mm-hmm.
logged in with existing user, then you had to go for git push and token for authentication. If you already have the token, it's git logout, git login, and username, and in when it asks for password, you have to place your token there. That's it. It's done. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, I think I did not stop recording. My bad.